Native Land Pod is a production of iHeart Radio in partnership with Reason Choice Media.
Welcome.
What's up, Native Land Pod? Hey, Angela. Hey, Andrew. Hey, Tiffany. My name is Jessica, and I'm sending this video to you from Houston, Texas. I love Monday's mini pod on who are our Black leaders. How I looked at it as your basketball team. You have your coach, your starting five, and a sixth man. So for the coach, you have to have Reverend Al Sharpton. Your starting five, my good sorors, Jasmine Crockett, Ketanji Brown Jackson. Then we have Gary Chambers, Justin Pearson, Bakari Sellers. And for the sixth man, I felt like we needed to have someone in the media. So I was going back and forth between Joanne Reed, Roland Martin, or Don Lemon. But I'm going to choose Joanne Reed, another soror. So that is who I think could our leaders be. And I really love the idea of having more than one leader because everybody has strengths and in different areas and can reach different demographics, generations. So yeah.
Welcome home, y'all. This is our mini pod where we gonna go back to old school hip hop days with a top 5, but instead of it applying to hip hop, it applies to Black leadership in this country, which we desperately need, especially in the trying times that we're in right now. So I feel like I fulfilled my assignment last week. We just cold opened with Jessica, who did not honor the assignment. She did like me and had more than 5. She was like, well, you need a coach and you also need a sixth man. And while I'm at it, let me just throw these other names in here that I didn't decide on. So I'm gonna have a full 10 deep squad. But to that point, to the rest of the people on this squad, my co-hosts, Andrew Gillum and Tiffany Cross, who are in your top 5?
What you got, Tiff?
Well, I'm going first, Andrew, because you already know we met
how he is.
Because you better.
Okay. So my I want to be clear. This list is for people who are going into the White House to sit at the negotiation table on behalf of Black folks. It's not personalities, but it's people with like policy areas of expertise that I think would benefit Black folks. So my first nominee, drum roll, is Mr. Andrew Gillum. And I will say why. Andrew, I'm saying you because, and I thought about this because I know a few people who, worked in politics and policy at different levels. But I think you are the most audacious in your policy outlook and plans. The most insightful, like you have a wide breadth of knowledge, historically, presently, and also forecasting what can happen. You've worked at the local level, the state level, and I think that is a key interest to Black folks. That's where a lot of policy happens. You are below the Mason-Dixon line. You're in the South.
Bless the Lord.
Yes.
Bless the Lord.
Which I think can, have the ability to remake the American electoral map. So, Andrew, I want you at the table. Next, LaTosha Brown. I think LaTosha is a great organizer and just has such a bleeding heart for the people. So I think she would be gracious enough to see blind spots and be able to course correct where something should be. This one may be a little controversial for y'all, but I would also have President Barack Obama at the table. The reason being is because he has been in the position before and has a wide scope and understanding of what happens at the federal level that we may not even know, that information that we're not privy to. So I think he would have a unique lens in that space and be able to guide some parts of the discussion. Then I would have Reverend Barber. Because I think Reverend William Barber, who leads the Poor People's Campaign, I think he would be focused on the bottom percentage, the working class people, but also people who are just impoverished across the country. And he is just a good, kind person. I think he would be in there and be able to do a great job advocating for the people. And then I have not come up with a fifth person yet because there are several options I have. And I wanted to see more Black women representation at the table. So absent that really, this is like my cheating answer. I'm going to go with Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, because I do think that you need somebody there who's focused on the laws as they impact people. If Justice Jackson is not available, then I offer Elie Mystal. Elie Mystal covers the courts, Harvard Law educated attorney, is brilliant. His wife is even more brilliant. So I feel like whatever blind spots he had going in there, it'd be helpful for him, because we kind of get a black man and a black woman with her. Now, some of y'all may be wondering, but you didn't say Angela, because when I was asked this question last week, I said Angela is somebody I was saying. I know you all want to go Angela, but I would not send Angela.
In there.
Yes, because we said this president is this president, and I don't think Angela or myself, I don't think either of us have the temperament to sit there and negotiate. Right. Precisely. Yeah. I would take one for the team. I'm gonna just tell y'all. But I would definitely want Angela a part of the discussions, like, the people to prep people before they go in. I would want you there. And then my alternate, just in case one of these people got sick, is Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley, because she's just always down for the people. So that's my list.
Here.
Those are good names. Andrew, I'm looking forward to hearing your names on your list.
You're gonna be disappointed, friend.
And we had
an
assignment. And I know in this era where we're telling people that everybody has their work to do. I know that you've done your homework.
Yes,
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Governor.
I did.
No doubt. Especially since he was number one on my list because he's so reliable.
Come on, guys. I did my homework, but I told y'all last week, you didn't listen probably. I was like, I'm not so into the names as much as I am in the fabric of the type of
ain't no fabric without the names.
Exactly.
Ain't no fabric without the names.
Well,
ain't no fabric without the names.
You gotta pass me.
No, you're not passing you. You have to do your homework.
I didn't concentrate on names.
Okay, then give us the fabric and we're gonna give you names and you say yay or nay.
That's what we're gonna do, Tiff.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
You can fill them in. All right, here the 5 are. We need a historian. Somebody who knows where this country's
Mychael
been.
Harriet.
Yes.
Where we've been.
Yep.
Eddie Glaude.
You said Eddie Glaude.
No, I was just saying, you talk about people who are in the historical aspect.
You said you didn't have no name, so we gave you one. Now you got a name.
If we need a historian, Mychael Harriet is the person we would nominate.
All right.
Okay.
I want a revolutionary.
Angela Davis.
A revolutionary.
Right. Okay.
Davis.
A revolutionary. I want the bomb thrower. I want the person who is going to turn the table over and be that in the space.
Can we pause right there real quick? Who is the revolutionary? Angela Davis is around.
But she doesn't move that way.
Right.
Maxine Waters.
True enough. I think Maxine fits a different mold for me.
Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. That might be the revolutionary.
She fits a different place for me too.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't think Jasmine's revolutionary.
Right.
I think Maxine
not
Waters
part
is.
of the infrastructure.
I think the revolutionary is somebody who is probably as liberated looks in today's society, which means that their livelihood, where they're going or where they've been, is not dependent upon an institution, a politician, any of that. That they stand pretty resolute. And
so you're saying outside of the government.
And being,
Gary Chambers, maybe he's the revolutionary.
Maybe. But Gary
Chambers he wants to run. Yeah, I would say outside of the system. I'd love to see him.
Okay.
Maybe Alicia
Garza. What are we thinking? Alicia Garza is the revolutionary. Alicia Garza. We sent her. We got Mychael Harriet, Alicia Garza.
I want the grassroots at the table. And I already know that person. I didn't do the work on it, but yes. I mean, I want the streets to speak at the table.
Latasha Brown. We got 3.
I want somebody who understands the economics of the country, the economics of our community, and large, big picture systems change.
Derek Hamilton might be a good economics person.
True. The Joint Center.
Mychael Harriet he studied macroeconomics, so he has a lens into that. Spencer Overton, does the Joint Center touch?
Spencer's over at the center.
Does he do economics?
I was gonna say, does the Joint Center do economics? I don't know.
They
do.
To.
I've been to a training by them.
Okay.
Oh, really?
But and you know what? There are probably some people within foundations, within progressive foundations, who, again, the name may not be here for me right now, but I know are deep thinkers and are very concentrated on not flash in the pans, but this change creates long-term systemic right? And then
Dorothy Brown, that's the economist I'm a send. She wrote an excellent book on Black wealth and money building. So Dorothy Brown, I got your economist for you right there. Okay, next.
What about John Hope Bryant or Robert Smith? He's not an economist, but he's done so much around macro and micro.
Heather McGee comes to mind.
Heather
for me.
McGee. Yeah.
And, in this sort of picture, a big systems thinker, but she also understands foundationally the economics that has, frankly, created the system that we are existing in today. And then finally, y'all, and this is probably one of the more important picks, would be figurehead movement leader, sort of big picture movement leader. And Jasmine, I know everyone would probably default to the historic individuals who show up in this category: Rev, Ben Crump, Jesse Jackson. Like those names that we know are kind of resident in that space. I would go for a fresher face.
Rashad.
Jasmine, sort of, I know she's a politician as well, but I think somebody who speaks can get the attention of the people at every strata of the movement and can activate them off their word, right? And there are people who have the ability, who have the power in different places to make moves. And I'm not sure if I threw this category out, but I did put in there sort of your political person who knows how these how these puzzle pieces fit together. So that idea won't work because it's isolated. There's no accountability. It doesn't feed back into anything. Somebody who can spot that and call it out, sort of immediately. And I don't know him all that terribly well, but I do respect him a great deal. And that's Hakeem Jeffries, as somebody who, 10 years in the Congress was able to ascend into leadership, and I believe has a big picture frame to how pieces fit together to work for us.
He's kind of an institutionalist too.
So that's kind of what you might get in this role, right? Somebody who knows where the bodies are buried, right? Like, well, we didn't call DEI out, but let me tell you the 30 places in which within this budget where it is, right?
Okay. Well, we had other people send in their list. What'd you say?
Yeah, let's hear from some of the other
listeners. The listeners. Let's roll some. Nick.
What's up, Native Land? I'm Larry, and I'm in Dallas. My top 5 leaders are as follows, in no particular order. Ta-Nehisi Coates, Cori Bush, who number 3? Michael Eric Dyson, Stacey Abrams, and last but not least, Roland Martin. I think with all 5 of them at the table, we can get to the bottom of issues of reparations, moving forward with the community as a collective, so on and so forth. Those are my top 5 leaders in our community.
The thing I appreciate about what he said, as Tiff sits in Roland Martin's studio, by the way, I also really appreciate him bringing up Cori Bush. I think, and Andrew, I know you can personally relate to this. I just be emotional about this stuff. But when our leaders, these people that have such favor on their lives to serve the people in the ways that you all do, and then you don't win an election, especially to somebody who that you're more qualified than, have more integrity than, et cetera. You never want to see good people that are strong orators and super brilliant and to have this great convictions about how to move this country forward and for the people. You never want to see them discarded. So I'm so glad you brought up Cori, our sister Cori.
Yeah, co-sign.
I love that.
I co-sign that.
Nobody has no other thoughts? Okay.
I just want to say though, some of the people they're saying, we love Roro, but Roro is not a policy person. He is a journalist there to cover. So I'm sure Roro would love to be at the table. I don't know that.
He definitely going. He definitely going.
He's sitting next to April.
But I want
Ro does not want to be in the journalism. Roland wants to tell you, Tiff, he probably would disagree with you on him not being the policy person. Roland is the camera operator, the sound engineer, the journalist himself, the key interviewer, the policy person, the resident historian, the voting rights advocate, the charter schools advocate. What have I missed? The Black Agenda historian.
Everything. Divine Nine, all of it.
Resident Divine Nine Alpha that will let you know, and the Boule.
I want Roro
From the
out
alpha
there.
to the bullet.
I want him to get the first exclusive interview with the people who were in the room and then come out and tell Roland what happened. I also want Roland to be a part of the council before they go into the strategy session.
The prep team.
Right. Yeah. But
we should have did that.
I'm telling you right now, if Roland participated in the prep team, he gonna be like, I'm going. Whose seat am I taking? I am going. Ro, you know I ain't lying. You know I ain't lying.
Put me in, coach. Oh, I'm the coach.
I'm gonna ask her.
Right, I'm the coach and the star player.
I'm gonna ask
I'm
her.
Steph Curry and I'm
When I see him, I'm gonna videotape on my iPhone and ask him what you say. To
yes,
the people
and we gotta post that. That's excellent.
Yeah.
Like, are you going? Would you want the exclusive or would you want to be at the table? Roland be like, hello at the table.
He want
table.
both. He gonna want both.
Okay, let's play another one.
Greetings, Native Land Podcast. What's up, Andrew, Angela, and Tiffany? Your recommendation for the leadership, I gotta have a women's team and a men's team. On my women's team, of course, I'm going to start off with Tiffany Cross. She's going to do the messaging and organizing events. Gotta have Angela Rod on my political education. I'd like to bring in Karen Hunter for disseminating and dissecting government rules. Of course, Jasmine is my rookie, my rising star. Gotta have her on the team. And rounding out my women's, I gotta have Ebony K. Williams to do my judicial. Gotta have my judicial part of that. On my men's side, of course, I got my man Andrew gonna be working doing the social. Got my man named Dr. Claude Anderson. He's gonna mentor a lot of the leadership. I got Wes Moore, up and rising leader, governor of Maryland. I like this guy. I know y'all don't like him. I think he would be a good asset to the team. Byron McDonald, I like him. I like Roland Martin from the Black Star Network. And that's it. I appreciate y'all taking my time. Hopefully you'll see you on Thursdays.
Thank you, Kate.
Wait a minute, you guys. I'm dying. He said, I know y'all don't like him. I thought you were talking about Wes Moore. Then he said Byron McDonald. And I'm like, oh, he's talking about Byron Donalds.
No, he Byron McDonald. That's all we going to call him.
That's Byron McDonald's. I am fascinated by that list because what I think this kind of brings some attention to is the fact that we still have. Hold on.
Well, why you?
No, never mind. Okay. No, I'm sorry. I thought we had one more. But what it brings attention to is there are people in our community who don't see themselves squarely in partisan boxes. I think in some ways that's some of us at times. We don't say we're neatly Democrat. We vote Democrat, but that's not really. Andrew is a party person for the most part, I would say.
I was a standard bearer for it once.
I know, and I don't understand why we still there because they ain't standard bear your ass back. But I
we're the majority. It's ours.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm not trying to vote Republican. I'm just saying I'm not going to fall on the sword for these efforts. But the point is, it's interesting because there are people in our community that don't hear things through a partisan lens. They just are like, okay, this person offers some good ideas. He said he likes Byron Donalds. I would like to know why. But I've not only heard that from him. I've heard that from a lot of people who feel like he's an effective communicator, even if what he's saying is not always true. So I'm curious to know what you all think about that. Is there a place for someone who's not as partisan or independent or conservative at a table in our top 5? And if you had to pick a conservative to go in, who would your conservative person be?
Well, can I just really
Dead or alive? I'll do that. Dead or alive. How about that? Dead or alive? Go ahead, Tiff. I'm sorry.
I like dead or alive. Just really quickly, I love that question. I don't have an answer yet. I just wanted to give some of because to your point, there were people off social media who weighed in on this.
I want to hear.
Okay. So Unicorn V said that Nicole Hannah-Jones has to be in the room. The 10th letter said Yassine Bey, most deaf. I don't know why, but okay. I'm not mad at that.
Well, he says because
he's conscious. He's conscious. So someone said Michelle Obama. That fly tips 86 at Michelle Obama. Coco Chanel is saying we need to stop looking at our own community through the lens of oppressors, which I appreciate. So she says Oprah would be good. We got a lot of Roland Martin, a lot of President Obama, a lot of Hakeem Jeffries, to your point. Charles Blow came up. Anthony LeBron said Charles Blow. Oh, speaking of Anthony LeBron, did y'all know that AD got traded from the Lakers? Anyway, we'll pick that up another time.
Who did he get traded for, Tiff? Who did he get traded for?
You may not have heard of this guy because his name is funny, but Luka.
Luka what?
He doesn't have he just goes by Luka. He doesn't go by a last name.
No, he has a last name.
Everybody calls him Luka.
Who did AD get traded to, Tiff?
I like that.
He is going to Dallas.
Very good. For Luka.
For Luka. Just Luka.
Doncic.
Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic is going. So the way they trade these players, we could trade some of these leaders. So if we gonna talk about conservative leaders, see how I bring it all back. We traded Luka for AD.
Meanwhile, Luka is not black.
No, he's not black. But
you asked who he was traded.
Yes.
With,
so the same way we can trade AD for Luka, I'm gonna trade out Byron McDonald's, that conservative, and bring in General Colin Powell. Since you said dead or alive.
Okay.
So that's my trade.
Powell.
Yeah. And I'm just saying that because you said conservative. But honestly, I don't need a conservative
Just
there.
picking one.
Yeah. I don't need a conservative
it might not be a bad idea to reach Donald Trump. If you have to have somebody at the table to reach the man, maybe you start with a bridge. Who would you pick, Andrew Gillum?
Well, I don't necessarily think you have to be a partisan to get Donald Trump's attention. You do have to demonstrate some sycophancy for him.
But who could do that?
What is I don't know the agenda of former owner of BET. What's his name?
Bob Johnson?
Bob Johnson.
Hells no.
Is he? I don't know. Okay.
He supported Trump last time. I haven't heard him say anything this time. And it wasn't during the election, right? It was like after the election.
Yeah.
I feel like he came around in some way.
Read Sheila Johnson's book.
I'm not saying nothing bad about Bob Johnson. Bob Johnson was one of my first clients when I started my firm. I do not understand for the life of me why he would ever support Donald Trump, because y'all get real confused if I don't say it this way. I am not supporting that or thinking it's a good idea. But I just, people do interesting things these days.
They do.
So you think Bob Johnson should be at the table, Andrew? That was your point?
I was trying to think of somebody who Donald Trump might have some inertia of respect for and some familiarity. Don Peebles might be somebody that rides in that.
Don Peebles was very cool with Donald Trump last go around.
A real estate
and he also has, he's also sort of ensconced in some ways in black politics, federal, state, local.
He was the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation.
Right. So I'm thinking that within that vein, I don't really know how supportive or non-supportive they were, but I think that they're the type that might run in a Trump circle socially.
I can't even think of black conservatives.
I'm torn.
Yeah, who?
I'm torn between two.
Who?
I'm actually not torn. I'm clear. Mine is not alive. He was my father's mentor. There's a great man by the name of Dr. Arthur Fletcher, who was the father of affirmative action. And I think it would be imperative, especially in this moment, for Donald Trump to hear from someone who was appointed by Richard Nixon, that DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, is important not only for the fabric of this country, but for its economic viability. And for our global standing. And I think that there's no better advocate for that than the father of affirmative action himself, Dr. Fletcher. I
wouldn't even insult Dr. Fletcher with them people.
I think that, I think Dr. Fletcher would be willing to do it. I remember my dad telling me that George H.W. Bush had convinced him to endorse Clarence Thomas before the Anita Hill stuff and everything came out. And he said one of his biggest regrets in life was ever endorsing Clarence Thomas. And I'm just bringing that up to say, too, when I'm thinking about our podcast from Thursday, at what point do we allow people to walk back their mistakes, live with their regrets, but then move forward? I think that there's a lesson in there.
Maya
for us, in terms of how we come back together. Oh, yes. Talk about Maya.
She endorsed Clarence Thomas at the time.
I did not know that.
Yes.
I mean, our legacy civil rights groups collapsed. I mean, everybody, it was.
I didn't know about
Vernon
Maya
Jordan
Angelou,
is the Trump whisperer. He's no longer, you know, I just think he is the typograph who understands this whole system well enough. And I think he'd be listening to all the voices in the room to find the through line to reach this man's
He's very
head
charming
in some way. You feel like he hears you and like he can internalize it, translate it, and put it back out there.
Okay.
I think that's a strength.
I got one.
She got a revelation. Yeah.
This is, when you were saying this, I was thinking about the streets. Like, the streets need to be represented. Y'all might not like it. I might lose my amen corner, but I'm about to tell y'all who I want there.
Who?
Plies.
Oh,
hell
Lord,
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I want him and Cardi.
You guys, let me ask you. I love Cardi.
Plies and Cardi.
Cardi, I'm fine with
Cardi.
because Cardi to me, now I'm about to start a whole battle. People about to be mad at me again. I stay in trouble with these damn rappers.
What?
So listen, let me just tell you guys this one thing. I actually would invite Plies onto this show because I got some questions.
We need to Plies come on the show.
You should come on the show because I want to know, why are you talking like that and you got a nursing degree? I want to know, why do you move the way you move and talk about hoes the way you be talking about hoes, but you got a whole wife at home? I just got questions about why, like, you can't be a translator if you're not starting from a basis and foundation of truth, though.
What? But
and
I
think that's.
But he may be.
It sounds like he's not truthful.
Well, tag Plies and have him come on the show.
Might be some code.
Yeah,
Can y'all help
Plies, I got
Plies?
questions because maybe I'm wrong. I would like to be proven wrong, but I feel like there are some things that he's putting on. There's some mascot-like behaviors that aren't true to who he is, and I just would like to know, will the real Plies stand up?
But,
you know?
but can we talk
maybe.
about that? Because I
That's
think
not
that's
fair.
right. Because I was going to say, I think
a lot
it's
of
the
entertainers
ambidextry.
have an alter ego.
Yeah.
Have a, you
What's
know,
his
there's
real name?
Sasha Fierce, if you will.
Algernon, I think. Algernon.
But I'm not going to put him in the jailhouse for that. What I love
No,
about
I'm not
him,
putting
and
him in
again,
jail. I ain't putting no
I
black
know.
man in jail.
No, I think, that's not
I
what I
stand for
meant.
pardons. You know me.
Oh, friend. Yes. So what I want to say is he can come out the penalty box because I think he translates very similar to Cardi B, very
It's different than
direct,
Cardi.
honest, a little in the gutter with it, information that people, I think, but for their communicating to them, would not follow it otherwise.
I'm going to tell you what.
Would know otherwise.
I'm going to pull some clips of him saying something and somebody else saying something before him and it being very similar.
Okay.
It's very plagiarism-like. And that's my one thing. With Cardi, I feel like it's different because she's speaking to her actual authentic experience. Again, I'm down to be proven wrong, but I just feel like it's a little mascotish.
Well, okay.
It happens.
I would love to hear from Plies. I think Plies has a great way of communicating and has given
Cardi.
sound tight
You want Plies
messages.
and Cardi?
And I like
Hell
Cardi
yeah.
too, because I think Cardi, she's very
love her.
knowledgeable on presidents for one,
yes.
which I appreciate.
Yes.
She at least knows what she's talking about, and she does have, I think, respectfully, a very gutter way of communicating. Sometimes that speaks to a lot of people, and I also think it is the ambidexterity of our kind. That we can show up in different
on,
ways and be
ambidexterity.
different kind of people. We can be who we need to be when we need to be it.
Yeah,
y'all
that's
some
true.
Bible kids. I say the Bible say I am that I am. That means I'm who I need to be.
I can't co-sign that. Mm-mm.
Well, that
Blasphemy.
is the Lord talking. But I'm just saying for the God
we're
in
made
us.
in His image and likeness. She wasn't trying
Thank
to be
you,
blasphemous.
Andrew.
I know. Hey, who am I to say that?
But my point is,
I like
we
this
show up with-
conversation.
Yeah, I like it too. So what is this? Because the last time,
That we show up that way so long as it's in service to us.
But what is the
Plies
conversation we
makes
gonna
that
have?
adjustment because it's in service to what he's trying to do.
we got to wrap this conversation, but we were getting into another one. So what is the conversation that you? Because I like where we were going to have it as another mini pod.
Yeah, I feel like it's just
With Plies and Cardi.
it feels like today's theme overall, like in all the recordings, is about like knowing what to do and then playing your position. And I just think whatever that is, like being in your most authentic truth, living true to mission, and not trying to envy somebody else, like, oh, it looks cooler over there, let me go over there and do that. Like, you've talked about this a lot, Tiff, and Andrew, you too, about entertainers have a role. They historically have had a role in the civil rights movement, even before that, in ensuring that our issues are heard, demands are met, etc. But they're still entertainers. And so at the end of the day, who are our policy folks, our think tank leaders, civil rights leaders, our elected officials that are playing their position that we know we can go to? And I think those and influencers are also different, that can spread a message that has already been established. Those roles are starting to become muddled, and I think we should unmuddy the water for clarity's sake, so that we can keep moving in a way that is beneficial and helpfully helps Black people seal the victory.
Which is why I would like politicians to stop trying to be celebrities.
You
got a job to do.
That's another
You got a job to do.
Go to work.
So we got two mini pod. We have the mini pod on slang and different words and words into the lexicon that exist in different regions among Black folks. Now we have one on play your position, which I like. I thought you were going in the more abstract when you said I like this conversation, because there's something there. We need to flesh it out more, but something like how you show up, like the different ways you show up.
Authentic. What does it mean to be authentic?
Ooh, I like that. Okay, so those three we got to
gets to be the judge of that?
Well, you yourself.
But I think that's the point.
Right.
Right.
Well, that's
so
part
I'm
of the
saying
conversation.
if I am showing up in a space in a particular way, I'm not doing it because I think it's going to not be a good representative self. I'm doing it because I think at this time and in this place and in this way, me showing up this way is in service to what I'm trying to accomplish for either us, the people, or for myself. And I'm not talking about me. I'm just saying, I was thinking about some of what you were saying about how some of us show up. Some of us look like freaking cartoon characters in some places and in some ways. And then you want us to loop back around and say something that, is stimulating to me, and now I should take you as a real opinion leader. That's
the podcast.
It's like Jamie Foxx going from comedian to singer. Like, I couldn't listen to his first, album.
I love that
first album was amazing.
It is my favorite. Can I say it's my favorite, period? I bumped it
also,
like you wouldn't believe.
Also, did you watch his special? His
but
special
I had
was
to
so
get
good.
over the fact that he was,
I loved
the fire chief in Living Color and all the other ways in
he
which
was
he
not.
did
That was Jim
The fire
Carrey.
chief was Fire Marshal Bill with Jim Carrey.
He was
Yeah.
Wanda.
Do you guys know the Homie the Clown song?
Homie the clown.
Don't mess around.
Even though the man try to keep him down. One day, homie will
Homie
break
don't play
all the
that.
chains.
Okay,
then he'll
Nick is
fly
saying
away.
homie don't play that, 'cause it's time to wrap.
Homie don't
All
Fucking
right.
any
Thank you
longer.
guys for tuning into the
Y'all
mini
are
pod.
just hating because I knew
Well,
our
Nick said
words.
it was time
This
to
is what
wrap.
I gotta
We
deal
seriously
with.
gotta go. So thank you guys for tuning in to this mini pod. We have
It's
a
a
lot.
Seattle
We got a
thing.
lot of mini pods left. So remember,
Love the mini
mini pods drop every Monday. Tell your friends to watch every single Monday. Listen. You can find us on YouTube. You can listen to anywhere you get your podcast. Thank you so much. We are your hosts, Angela Rye, Andrew Gillum, and I'm Tiffany Cross. Welcome home, y'all.
We out here. Native Land Pod is a production of iHeart Radio in partnership with Reason Choice Media. For more podcasts from iHeart Radio, visit iHeart Radio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.